So guys, we're out here selling seasonings. It was slow and a slow day, but it started. Storms slowly started coming in, and this is it. Yeah, this is now. I'm like one of the last ones packing up. It's a small spot. You got to wait for the cars to get their stuff in, and my stuff was getting wet and soaked. So I don't, I don't know how much product I lost, but it's part of the being outside experience. I don't have an umbrella. I don't have anything. I took my dumb move. I just thought I could beat it. I took my tent cover down first before, and I had to wait to get to my car, and my stuff just started getting soaked. Hopefully, the totes and everything are waterproof enough that nothing inside got messed up. But uh, it's about three or four of us out here. I'm 100% wet everywhere, but I have to wait till I get home to see what happened to everything that I had out selling. So one of those days. Hope I didn't lose that much stuff though, but we'll see.
Hey, what's up, Towners? Like you said in that little quick snippet, I got totally caught up in the rain yesterday. Um, Went to a farmer's market. It was a nighttime market from like 6 to 9, and I don't say it was a perfect day, but it was like zero chance of rain at all in the forecast. And the way it was set up, it's a small spot. It was like basically where you park at or where it was set up at. It's a, a one-way street that's in between two like tall buildings. And they basically just block off that little street because you basically, when you pull in down the street, you have the option of pulling off to the side to park. And that's it. You either drive through or you pull into the parking spot along that street. And there's like a couple of shops on that street, and then you just drive through. But they block off the street so that way you basically set up your tents where all of the cars park at. And so that's where they had to send that. But it's very tight. Like they have the streets marked off, like this tent goes from here to here. So it was like literally each tent was touching each other. So there wasn't that much gap or space in between tents. But we're out there selling, and it's like my third week going to that market. It's like on every other Thursday. But this weekend was super duper duper slow for some reason. And so a lot of downtime and everything, but you can't really see the sky. It was like right around 8 o'clock. It was like 80 degrees or so, still humid. But around 8 o'clock, the temperature dropped really fast, like 10 degrees. And I'm like, okay, that's a nice little breeze, cool. And then, like if you looked up, because you really couldn't see the sky, you could see the sky above you, but you couldn't see the sky from, from front or behind you because the building's blocking the way. But you looked up, you saw a little dark spot. It's like, that's like a dark cloud right there. But I looked at the weather forecast and it was nothing, no chance of rain, no rain coming or anything. And then like we heard a lightning strike, and the person that's in charge of the market, he runs a shop routing trading company. He came out, he was like, you guys, I think it's gonna rain, guys. It's kind of slow. So, if you guys want to pack up and, it's cool. So everybody was like, it is slow, super slow. So like, yeah, we'll just get out of here. And as soon as he said that, like strong, super strong wind gusts just blew through and started rattling everything around. So everybody started packing up, and the wind just started really picking up fast. So, and where we were at, it's like just buildings on both sides. So it was kind of like a wind tunnel. So the wind, like a wind came through, it just blew through hard, collectively. So I was like, okay, let me be smart. Let me take off the first, like the four corners. I took off two corners. I just lifted up the flaps of two corners of the tent. So that way when the wind hit it, it would just like rattle it, but it wouldn't lift because it would started lifting up some tents. And normally I take my tent down last because I'm out from like 11 to 3 in the middle of the sun. And pack up everything. I pack up everything sort of neatly. I just take my time doing it because there's nothing else to do. Just slowly put everything where it's supposed to go. So that way when I get home, I can just take out the tote, put it in the car, but I can put everything exactly where it goes, just move it that way. But when this rain came, it just started changing everything. So like the wind started getting up real crazy. So I just ended up taking the whole tarp cover off completely. And then as soon as I did that, I was like, okay, let me focus on getting all my stuff up. And then maybe about 2, 3, 5 minutes later, the rain came hard. And I'm like, what? So I'm trying to scramble. I'm throwing everything in the totes and just trying to pass. Like the organization skills at that point was gone. I was just throwing everything in there to try to save stuff. And then the rain just started coming down like crazy. Like it started with a slow sprinkle and then it just picked up. And the thing is, like when you do vendor events like that, you kind of have to, it's kind of hard to get your car and park and everything. So that was the main thing. Like kind of got my stuff into totes and everything, but then you got to wait for the cars to come through because only one car can pass through. And whoever, when a car comes through, wherever they stopped at to get their stuff, if someone's behind them, they can line up, but you literally have to wait for them to get their stuff in the car and go before the people in front of them. So I was stuck at that point and I couldn't get to my car. My stuff was just sitting there, and the lady next to me, she still had her tent up. She was like, you can put some stuff on underneath the tent on my side. I was like, thank you. And but you know, you got a 10 by 10 tent, and when the wind starts blowing different directions, that 10 by 10 space is really condensed to about 4 by 4 or 5, like basically right in the middle. And that's where all her stuff was. I didn't want to take up all of her space, so I'm like putting the stuff that I didn't want to get wet in there and stuff, so I'm just leaving it outside. Like I had my table up, so I left it under the table. And what I didn't realize was, because like the way it was set up again, like I said, it was a parking spot. So where the curb stop is, and then the curb was that little gap was, that's where I had most of my stuff sitting at that I wasn't using at the time. I didn't realize when it started raining that turned into like a huge puddle. So all my stuff, when I went to go pick that, it was just soaking wet. My backpack, what was in my back, everything, it was just soaking wet. And at this point, I am drenched. I didn't have I did have an umbrella, but it was in the car. But when I took my tent down and everything, I was just sitting there just in the rain, just wet, everything, clothes, shirt, pants, shoes, underclothes, everything. I'm just soaking wet. So at that point, it's just like, I'm wet now, so just deal with it. So I'm just helping people because I couldn't get to my car. I finally get to my car, finally put my stuff in the car, and the lady next to me who let me put some of the stuff in her tent, she couldn't get to her car yet. So I basically stood there and waited for her, and I helped her load her car up. But at that point, it was just like, man, it happens. I mean, like I said, it was totally unexpected. And like the takeaway from this, I'm like, what would be my takeaway would probably be like, probably bring an extra. I normally have like a one of those blue tarps with me. I could have had a tarp. If I had a tarp, I could have covered some stuff up that way. Don't take the tent cover down, do that last, but then the wind was just going crazy, so that's why I did that. But I mean, you never really know. And the real reason I wanted to get out there was because it's Labor Day weekend. It wasn't supposed to rain at all today, but it is supposed to rain on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, like the rest of the weekend, which I normally sell on Monday. So I was like, let me get out there on Thursday because I might not be able to get out there on Sunday because of the rain. You don't know, but now I don't even know about that one. Like, I've been out before where it started to sprinkle, but it sprinkled for maybe 3-4 minutes, and then it was back sunny again, and the rain dried up everything and good to go. But I don't even know now. It's like this because the farmer's market where I'm normally at, they send you an email around 7 o'clock in the morning to tell you know how the weather is and going on, and if they're going to do the market. And the last 2 times that they did cancel it because the forecast showed that it was going to rain from 11 to 3 or thunderstorms for safety purposes, it didn't rain at all. No drops, nothing, perfect weather. So they're like, you know, sorry. And they do that because some people sell perishable items like baked goods and pastries and things like that, or juices, and they make it that day or that morning or the night before. And then when they cancel everything, they're stuck with all that product that they can't sell or use. So to try to give people enough of an advance to make sure they can do that. But the lady last week at the market, she was like, you know, I'm sorry, you know, the last 2 weeks when we canceled it, or when we did cancel it, the weather was fine. So now I think we might just do it, just let it go. Like, if no matter what, if you guys want to come out, just go ahead and come out, because we're still gonna have the streets blocked off. But in my head, I'll be like, you know, yeah, I could still go out there and sell the stuff and not worry about it. But after dealing with yesterday with if the rain does come and the situation and how to deal with it, it's like, do I even want to do that, or do I just want to chill and stay at home? So it's a busy week. It's Labor Day weekend. It's sort of a busy weekend. I mean, planned on selling on Sunday, but I'm off work today. It's Friday. Saturday tomorrow is my son's birthday, his 6th birthday. So we're going to do some stuff from him, but hopefully, I don't know if it's going to rain, if we can do anything outside. And then Sunday, I had planned on selling in the morning, and then my other friends having a 40th birthday party that night. And then Monday, Labor Day, I don't have anything to do Monday. Tuesday, I'm off also. So I pretty much took off from Sunday through, I took off Friday and I took off Tuesday. So I don't know, but that's my story of what happened and how it happened, and it just happens. So hopefully it doesn't happen again. But right now, everything is in my garage, just drying out. It's pretty sunny. It's almost close to 12, so I'm about to go put some stuff in the driveway and just let it sit in the sun to dry out more, because some of the stuff is actually still wet from last night. I just put it straight in the garage and closed it up because it rained all night. But I'm not going to go through anything and assess most of it until, so I don't even feel like doing it right now. Maybe later tonight I'll go through and see if I lost anything or what's going on with that. But the stuff that was soaking wet, everything that was in the barrels in my totes, I pretty much was able to salvage most of that. But it's just a situation just being out there, just wet and just, I ain't gonna say miserable, because it was just like once it got to the point to where I knew that I couldn't do anything about it, I was just like, how can I help whoever else is still out here dealing the same situation as myself? But that's it, and hope you guys have a great Labor Day weekend, and see you guys on the next one.